Hello and welcome to Sports with John. It's like Sports with Hank, only not that fun. Today, I am the mighty Swindon town, as I always am, in our inexorable march to the top of the Premier League. Currently, we are in League One. I want to give you a couple updates to the squad. First off, I put another striker named John Green up front so that I can ensure that John Green always scores. It's John Green and John Green up front. There's tall, bald John Green, and then there's regular John Green up front. And secondly, I traded away a bunch of our players so that I could afford John Green and John Green. That means that we just barely have enough players to start the match here. But bald John Green is so good. Is he going to score right off? He is! Oh, bald John Green, there's no stopping you! You're so tall and gangly and beautiful. Right now, Swindon Town already up 1-0. We're 1-1 this season in League One here on our march to the Championship and then the Premier League. John Green, bald John Green, is so much taller and bigger and stronger than any of the other players. It's a little bit unfair. Look at that power. He's pure power, bald John Green. Anyway, I know I'm really bad at FIFA. So today I'm going to tell you some stories about Red Green. Last time we talked about the American economy. This time we're going to talk about the dachshund I owned in the 1980s. Red Green. Red Green, who was such a bad dog that my parents gave him away when he was 16. They kept him in the house until he was 16, and then they were like, we can have no more. Red Green, my dad is about the nicest guy you're ever going to meet in your life. He's a lot nicer than either Hank or me, and just the sweetest man I know. And he once threatened to kill Red Green, and I don't think he was, like, people threaten to kill dogs all the time, but I don't think my dad was kidding. Like, I think my dad would have done it. Red Green was just a terrible dog. He was terrible at all facets of being a dog. He didn't fetch. He wasn't house trained. God knows he wasn't house trained. He famously pooped in our Nintendo. But he was just bad in every respect. He also and I know people say there are no bad dogs, there are only bad owners, and maybe that's the case, but we've owned dozens of dogs in my family, and we've had nothing but wonderful experiences, great relationships with all of our dogs. You know, but Red Green was the exception to the rule. Red Green, we used to always try to get Red Green, trained and house trained and stuff, and to like heel and just do the basic. Come on, that's got to be a foul. That is a foul. Achievement unlocked. All right, I'm gonna nail this. I don't know if it's John Green, but I am gonna hit this shot. I didn't hit it. Dang it! Anyway, so a couple of stories about Red Green. We took him to one of those training schools, and it was a money-back guarantee. It actually wasn't a money-back guarantee. It was if we fail to train your dog here at training school, you'll get personal sessions with our trainer at your home, and then he'll definitely be trained. And then there was a money-back guarantee. So first, goal. Who scored? Other John Green! Yes, other John Green, you're great. You're so good. Look how happy you made bald John Green down there at the bottom. Why is your name Jay Bennett? Your name's John Green. It said so just right on the screen. Anyway, so Red Green failed out of obedience school, and they were like, well, the good news is that now he gets to go to our top-notch personal trainer who comes to your house and teaches your dog to be good. You know, like the dog whisperer. The dog whisperer was like, look, this dog is hopeless. I'm going to give you your money back. Red Green, one time, by the way, if you don't know why we named him Red Green, it's because Hank named him when Hank was 5, and we got him at Christmas, Red Green, etc. We also once had a snake named Blue Green. When we were kids, we were really infatuated with the fact that our last name was a color. We just thought it was like the funniest, most clever thing that anyone had ever done. How do you purport to stop bald John Green? That's simply unrealistic. So I did want to tell you about Red Green when I was in college. So when I was in college, my parents and Hank went on a trip to Scotland, and because I had a job, I was working at Steak and Shake at the time. I couldn't go to Scotland. I had to stay, to keep things running at Steak and Shake. Come on, bald John Green, you're better than that. And so Hank and Mom and Dad went to Scotland. I stayed home to take care of Red Green and work at Steak and Shake. Every morning, I worked at Steak and Shake from 11 p.m. To 7 a.m., which, let me tell you, those are the hours to work at Steak and Shake if you want to be tipped not at all by drunk teenagers. Oh, God, that was the worst. By the way, if you ever go to Steak and Shake, please tip your waiters. Ridiculous. Young people with their fear of tipping. Nobody works harder. And I've never had a job that was harder than working at Steak and Shake, including like when I worked in a warehouse. And it was 130 degrees all summer. Anyway, oh, come on, number 4. I can't believe you blocked that with your nuts. So, Red Green, I would work from 11 to 7, and then I would go home and I would sleep. And every, about 2 hours into my sleep, Red Green would come into my room, and he would jump up on the bed, and he would scratch me with his freaking miniature dachshund claws to wake me up. And I don't mean that he would like scratch like my belly or something cute. I mean that he would scratch me in my closed eye, so that when I opened my eye, he would scratch me in my open eye. And then after he had woken me, and I was like, "Hey, Red, thanks for coming up and waking me." 90 minutes into my sleep, he would get down on the carpet and he would look at me, and he wouldn't even raise his leg. He would just look at me and pee. He wouldn't like a regular dog like is marking something, but Red wasn't marking anything. He was just announcing that he was mad at me for not letting him. I have no idea, but he would just wake me up and he would go down on the carpet and he would look at me and he would pee. And I got so used to this over the course of the week. I mean, look, I was in college. I was a little bit of a doofus, to be honest with you. I got so used to it that I stopped even reacting. I didn't even like clean up the pee. I was like, I'm just gonna wait till the end of the week and then I'll clean up all the pee at once. And I think so. Red slowly over the course of the week, he figured out that this human is no longer impressed by my incredible talent for peeing on the carpet when he wants to sleep. And so one morning, toward the end of the trip, Red Green wakes up. Why is Ball John Green back there? That's not where you need to be. This is a disaster! Disaster! Panic! Panic averted. So Red Green wakes me up, and I think he's just going to do the usual Red Green thing where he, oh god, this is not beautiful. It must be. Oh! Shoot! Sorry, it's been all day talking to a baby, so that's how I talk. So Red Green wakes me up in the usual way by scratching my face until I open my eyes and then scratching my open eye. And then he instead of going down to the carpet, as he always has in the past, he just pees. like with his hind legs on my belly button and his forelegs on my I would say like lower neck, upper chest. He just pees. he just begins to urinate on my body. I mean, I was covered by a blanket, but like basically on my body. Like I could feel the warmth of his urine on my body. It was as horrible as you can imagine. It's got to be. I'm sorry, sir. How did you miss that? Bald John Green, I expect better from you. In my opinion, let's see a replay of that. I'm sorry, Bald John Green gets that in the net 10 times out of 10. That's unrealistic from FIFA. That's a moment where you feel like you're playing soccer, and then all of a sudden you're just taken out of the experience because there's no way that would ever happen in real soccer. Bald John Green puts that in the net. So Red Green would pee on my body. That's the basic thing that I'm telling you. At least that happened once. Hold on, I gotta try to score again. This is a little bit ridiculous. Come on! So, eventually, look, we all had a soft spot in our heart for Red Green, and eventually he broke his back, as dachshunds often do, because they had, they're like weird genetic freaks who nature didn't intend to exist. And so he broke his back because, their backs are way too long or whatever. And we had to choose between getting a $5,000 surgery, as I recall, or putting him down. At the time, he was about 11 years old. And I got to tell you the truth. I love animals. I love dogs. But you can cure a lot of malaria with $5,000. And I was a strong opponent of the surgery. And it wasn't because I didn't think that... Well, I mean, I did. It was because I didn't think Red Green was worth it. I just felt, I couldn't help but remember, please score. You're better than that! Oh, MK Dons have some kind of, magical goalie. So, anyway, in the end, my parents opted to do this surgery that I just thought was ridiculous. And then, of course, Red Green came home and not like grateful because he wasn't capable of gratitude. He came home angry because this unpleasant thing had happened to him, and his way of dealing. They're sponsored by DoubleTree. That's kind of cool. His way of dealing with the anger was to pee, and so the peeing problem that had primarily been like a between Red and me. Like, you know, he would poop on things I love and pee on things I love, but it was about me. You know, it wasn't about my whole family. It was just he hated me personally. At least that's my theory. God, it has to be, and it is. Jay Green, other Jay Green, with a beautiful goal. That hit the post, and it hit another post, and then winning. Let's see that again. Oh, gosh. That's how we drew it up in practice. So, for the next 4 years, Red Green did nothing but pee all the time, all over my parents' house. So much so that, like, I mean, in the end, they moved houses, but I feel bad for whoever bought our house because I think it's going to smell like Red's pee forever. That's got to be a goal. God! Ball, John Green! Why are you not good at that play? I'm sorry, Easter, you're going to have to leave the game, apparently. Oh, no, they're bragging about it. Yeah, you're going to leave the game. You don't get to play anymore Easter. It's Good Friday for the MK Dons. Ball, John Green. Ball, John Green. It's got to be. What? What is this lack of communication between people who are named John Green? How can you guys not get that right? I mean, you are essentially the same man. Just one is bald and huge and the other is regular. Ball, John Green. 2. Oh, come on! I expect that. That's disappointing. So after 4 years of peeing on everything that we own, so much so that like anything from the red-green era, if you get up real close to it, you can still, you know, smell his essence. So I guess in that sense, like he was able to like mark our lives, although never more than when he pooped in the Nintendo, certainly. So after years of this, eventually, my parents, they had to move, and when they had to move, they just couldn't bring themselves to think that Red Green was going to cover another world in pee. So he ceased to be our dog and became a foster dog for a nice family who apparently loved the smell of dachshund pee because they owned like 6 of them. So, Swindon Town has another miraculous victory. The goals were scored by John Green, and John Green. I'd like to congratulate my beloved Swindon Town on their victory over MK Dons. We're now 2-1 in the League One here in England, and we are well on our way, well on our march to the championship, and then to the Premier League. I don't know why that guy's shirt says Jay Bennett, because his name is John Green, but, you know, so it goes. Well, maybe we'll try to fix that for next time. You will not see me, I will not see you, but thank you for visiting here at Sports with John, and I will see you next time when I will tell stories about something of your choosing. If you could leave a comment asking me what to tell stories about, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, take care. Best wishes.